Right now, you have $1,000 in your wallet, but you can't see it. You can't touch it. Even if the banks go bankrupt, it won't disappear. How? In a few minutes, you'll understand exactly how Bitcoin works.
Imagine this. You're sitting in a coffee shop, chatting with a friend. You owe John for a concert ticket. You reach into your pocket, but you don't pull out cash. You pull out your phone. With one tap, the money's sent in seconds. But while making that transaction, did this question ever cross your mind? Who controls this money? Do we even need a bank?
Usually, if John wants to send $100 to Jane, he has to trust a bank. The bank must be open. He has to pay a commission. He has to wait for approval. And most importantly, the bank has to say yes. But what if the bank says no? What if the system crashes? This is exactly where, in 2009, a mysterious figure asked a wild question. What if we didn't need a central authority at all?
The core logic of Bitcoin is this. There is no single central ledger. Instead, there are thousands of copies all over the world. A computer in Tokyo, a server in New York, a node in London. They all keep the exact same copy of the same ledger. And they all record the same thing at the same time. John sent 1 Bitcoin to Jane. This is what we call blockchain. Bitcoin has no boss. Bitcoin has rules. These rules are written in code, and no one can change them alone. The system operates according to mathematical laws, not human decisions.
When John starts a Bitcoin transaction, it spreads to the entire network like a signal. The message, 1 Bitcoin is moving from John's wallet to Jane's wallet, reaches thousands of computers worldwide. But this transaction isn't approved instantly. First, it waits in a waiting room called the Mempool. Here, John's transaction sits along with thousands of others from across the globe. This is where the most important players in the system enter the stage, miners. These are people or companies with powerful computers. Their job? To take pending transactions, bundle them into a block, and add that block to the chain. But why do they do it?
Because miners are the unbribable guards of the system. They are racing for a reward. The winner gets both newly created Bitcoins and transaction fees. This is why they spend electricity to make billions of guesses. Bitcoin cannot be produced without this computing power. This is called proof of work.
Miners collect transactions and form a block. Now they need to find a very specific magic number to lock that block onto the chain. They have to make billions of guesses to find it. It's like a giant password cracking race. The first miner to find the number wins.
The winner shouts, "Found it!" to the whole network. Every other computer checks, is it really correct? If it is, everyone updates their own ledger with this new block. John's transfer to Jane is now confirmed. This is how Bitcoin is minted, through raw computing power and electricity. Now, the critical question. What if someone tries to change a past transaction? Each block contains a unique fingerprint of the previous block. This fingerprint is tied to all the data inside that block. If you change even a single letter in a block, the fingerprint changes completely.
Let's say a hacker tries to change block number 1000. The fingerprint of block 1000 changes, but block 1001 is still pointing to the old one. A contradiction occurs, the chain breaks, and the system rejects the modified block. To change a past block, you would have to recalculate every block that came after it, and you'd have to do it faster than all the other miners in the world combined. In practice, it's virtually impossible. Bitcoin's code states only 21 million Bitcoins will ever be created. Period. No one can change this. Every 4 years, the reward miners receive is cut in half. The last Bitcoin will be mined around the year 2140. This mathematical scarcity is one of the things that makes Bitcoin valuable. In Bitcoin, what we call a wallet doesn't actually store money because the money is already on the blockchain in the ledger that everyone can see. A wallet only holds 2 keys. Public key, this is your Bitcoin address, like a bank account number. You can share this with anyone. Private key, this is your password. Anyone who knows this can spend your Bitcoin. If you lose it, it can never be recovered. Most wallets give you a seed phrase of 12 words. These 12 words are an encrypted version of your private key. This is where the system shows its brutal,
decentralized nature. If you lose those 12 words, the system keeps working, but you lose access to your money forever. No one can help you. Because Bitcoin has no customer service, no boss, it only has rules.
So, how do you get Bitcoin? You need platforms called exchanges. These act as bridges between normal money and Bitcoin. You sign up, deposit your local currency, and buy Bitcoin. But be careful. If the exchange goes bankrupt or it gets hacked, you could lose your Bitcoin because they hold the private keys, not you. Real Bitcoin ownership only begins when the private key is under your control.
You might ask, where is the physical money? Here's the thing. In Bitcoin, there is no physical money. The blockchain simply says, this address has 0.5 Bitcoin. Whoever knows the private key can spend it. Money is not a physical object. It's a mathematical record. Just like the numbers in your bank account. There's no physical cash there either, only digital records. The difference? At a bank, the bank keeps those records. In Bitcoin, thousands of independent computers keep them.
The system has its challenges. Bitcoin's value is very volatile. If you send it to the wrong address, you can't get it back. Mining consumes a lot of energy. Managing private keys requires responsibility. But those are topics for another video.
Let's sum it up. Thousands of computers keep copies of the same ledger. When you send Bitcoin, the transaction broadcasts to the network. Miners race to solve a math puzzle to add transactions to a block. Each block is linked to the previous one, making the past almost impossible to change. Only 21 million Bitcoins will ever exist. And if you know those 12 words, you can access your Bitcoin from anywhere in the world.
Bitcoin is a system that works without needing to trust banks or governments. Bitcoin has no boss. Bitcoin has rules. Trust is in the mathematics and the consensus of thousands of computers. It's not perfect, but it shows us that money can be decentralized, transparent, and programmable. In short, welcome to the most secure system in the world, built on the premise of trusting no one. And that is how Bitcoin works.